Okay, this video is being done because, well, I've done a couple of scam videos in the past, but there's quite a lot out there on furnace scams. And I want to try to give you enough information so that you can avoid some of these scams. I originally got into this business in 1977. I was a service tech for 27 years, and then I taught entry-level HVAC for 9 years. So I've been around a lot in this kind of stuff, and there's a number of things out there that salesmen will try to do to convince you you should have a new furnace. Okay, I was a service tech, and I really didn't replace a lot of furnaces because I'd rather fix them. Now, sometimes it doesn't make sense to fix a furnace. There are times when it's not viable to repair them, and it's better off to replace. And there's some judgment calls in there. But there's a few things I want you to look at when the salesman is talking to you about the furnace. Number one, the life of the furnace. Okay. The salesman will tell you a furnace is good for 10 years, 15 years, maybe. This is an opinion of mine, and it's not reflected by some manufacturers, because some manufacturers say this is not true. But I say it is. That furnace will last 25 to 30 years. And this is a modern furnace. Some of the very old furnaces would last for 50 years or something. That wasn't really great, but they were just made out of very heavy metal. Newer furnaces aren't made that way. They're made for efficiency. But if you have a good quality furnace and is installed correctly, you should be able to get 25, 30 years out of it. As an example, I put one in my basement, and it's got 28 years on it. It's had one repair throughout that 28 years. So should I be replacing it? Yeah, I'm getting close to the 30-year mark. Probably should be replacing it pretty soon. But if I want to replace my furnace, one of the things that they'll tell you to do, or try to convince you that you need a new furnace. The new furnaces are more efficient than the old ones, which is absolutely true. Absolutely. Go over a little bit of a timeline. In the late 80s, we started coming out with high efficiency furnaces. Before that, the highest efficiency furnace you generally could find was going to be 80% efficient. That means if I put $100 worth of gas through this furnace, I'd get $80 worth of heat out of it. The rest of it had to go out the vent. Okay. They started making what they called the 90 plus furnaces, which were 90% efficient or higher, and could save some money. Well, that is all true, but you also have to figure out what it costs for the fuel. So let's say I'm taking a home that's 2,200 square feet, it's heated with natural gas, built in about 1990, so it was a pretty energy efficient home. So what would it cost me for a year to heat that home? Okay, the numbers I'm going to give you are in therms. That's a measurement of natural gas. I'm talking about natural gas furnace. I'm not talking about oil at this time or anything like that, or heat pumps or any of that. The amount of fuel used is measured in therms. That's 100,000 BTUs per hour. Okay. The reason I've used therms is because the price of therms varies. You know, natural gas prices vary. They go up, they go down. I'm not sure they're going to go down too much, but they're probably not going to go up massively. This last year in our area, we had about a 15% increase in gas, which was pretty high. That doesn't often happen. And in some places, natural gas prices vary by the month of the year. This is kind of an odd thing that when there's high demand in the winter, it goes up. Okay, there are changes like that. So I'm going to give you therms. And I'll change it into dollars as we go along. But let's see if I got some numbers here. Okay. It takes 604 therms to heat my house through the winter. Now I backed out the water heater here. Water heater is natural gas, the furnace is natural gas. But, and this is something, we got to talk a little bit about this too. When someone comes and says, I could put a furnace in there and I could save you 20% or 30% or 50% or whatever they want to say, and they say, get out your latest electric bill and let's look at it, or we'll say your utility bill. And you look at it, and the bottom line on there says $250. That's not natural gas. That's electricity and natural gas. So you're comparing apples and oranges here. This is not the same stuff. So you want to be comparing. This guy says, oh, I could save you 50% off of that bill every month. Okay. It's not going to happen. You got to separate it out. You got to look at the actual natural gas. I've taken the natural gas that this house uses and I backed out the water heater usage and just the furnace. We're isolating the furnace. Because if you take these large numbers, you'll get this number that is maybe a bit misleading, a lot misleading, because it's not, the furnace is only burning gas to heat the structure, not to heat the water and so on. And then there's no electric in it. I mean, there is electric in gas furnaces, but it's kind of tiny in compared to what the natural gas is. So, okay, look at these things. This one here, 604 therms. I figured $1.20 a therm. That's kind of a ballpark number. Everybody's number's different, and boy, when you look at some of these bills, they will have every crazy thing in there. It's hard to read a natural gas bill, but $1.20 a therm. That would cost me $724 less the water heater, so I got a $652 bill. That's for the entire year. Summer months, winter months, everything. Of course, those summer months you're not using the furnace. So if I have $652 per year, now you should be thinking, okay, this guy wants $8,000 for this furnace. What's the payoff? There is no payoff. There will never be a payoff. It's just not going to happen. Now, I'm going to make some comparisons for older furnaces to newer furnaces. And I'm going to take a pre-1990 furnace, which was 80% nominal efficiency, 70% actual efficiency. Okay, that one would be $652 times 28%. The reason I get the 28% is I'm going to use the highest efficiency furnace you can get out there, which is 98%. At least last I knew it was. So I have a furnace that only wastes 2% of the gas that's fed into it. That's the highest efficiency we can get. And I'm taking this older furnace and I'm saying, okay, it's about 70% efficient. That's going to give me, off of that $652 that I spent for gas to heat the structure, that's going to take $183 off of it. Okay, I'm going to save $183 a year. Might save a little bit if it has an ECM motor on it, on the new furnace. A lot of them have ECM motors and they're a little more energy efficient. They're not that much more energy efficient. It's, you know, in the low percentages, but there's a little bit there. But none of it is going to come up much above that $183. Okay, now that's going to blow most of these guys completely out of the water. They're going to tell you how much you're saving and all that, and it's not enough. It's not enough to make a difference. Okay, let's take a furnace that's 92% efficient, put in 1995. Okay? That's a high efficiency furnace, 90 plus furnace, 92% efficiency. And I put, you know, it's around 30 years old now, getting close to 30 years old. So you may have to replace it, but you're going to gain 6%. That's all you're getting. 6% is $39. You're going to save $39 a year. Okay, these are real live numbers, not some crap this guy's feeding you. Okay, let's take a worst case scenario. One of them that would probably be you'd save the most. Let's take a furnace that was put in probably in the 50s. That's going to have about a 60% efficiency. And that same bill, we're going to save 38% going to the highest efficiency furnace we can get. $248. Okay. Energy savings. Replacing a furnace for energy savings is almost never viable. If you want to replace your furnace, it's got 25 or 30 years on it. You don't want any troubles with it. You want it, you know, to last you for a long time and then get you another one. Go for it. Get a new furnace. But understand, it is not going to pay for itself. It never will. They'll tell you the gas prices are going to go through the roof next year or year after and you'll save so much money. None of that's true. I've been listening to guys tell me that sort of crap since 1982. And I've gone to a lot of these sales meetings where they're telling people all this crapola that you're going to save all this money. It's not true. If you want to replace a furnace, replace it because it may not be dependable anymore. If it's got a cracked heat exchanger, you have to replace it. Get two bids on that one. I'd like to have at least a couple people look at it, because sometimes people tell you have a cracked heat exchanger and you don't. I'm not saying everybody's a thief out there. I'm just saying there are some that are, and they will rip you off. So buying a furnace because it's going to save me a whole bunch of money is not going to happen. It will not happen. It's nice to have a little bit extra, you know. If I could save a couple $100 a year, yeah, that'd be fine. But don't sucker for it's going to pay for itself, because it's not. You get a new furnace because you want a trouble-free appliance for a number of years. Anyway, hope this makes sense. Any questions, give me a holler in the comments. That's it on this one.